The man treated the warrior alien woman kindly, and her reaction surprised him. The first time Ethan saw her, she was covered in blood. Some of it hers, most of it not. The battle on Karsus had ended only hours earlier, and amidst the rubble and dying groans of both human and alien soldiers, she stood tall like a statue carved from obsidian. Ethan had seen many things during the Interstellar War. Aliens who screamed curses in languages he didn't understand, soldiers who tore through humans like paper. But he'd never seen an alien just stand there, breathing, bleeding, silent. She didn't raise a weapon when he approached, just turned her head slowly to meet his eyes. Hers were like glowing amber, narrowed and sharp, but not hostile, just exhausted. "You injured?" he asked gently, lowering his pulse rifle. Her eyes flicked to his weapon, then back to him. "Yes," she said in perfect standard. Her voice was low and hoarse. "But I can walk." He nodded and offered her his hand. She stared at it like it was a venomous insect. Hesitantly, she reached out and took it. That moment would change both their lives. They called her Kael'ari of the Trail Dominion, an elite warrior from one of the Empire's most feared combat units. Ethan had expected resistance, arrogance, maybe even violence. Instead, she followed him quietly back to the Human Field Hospital, limping but proud. The medical staff were hesitant to treat her, and Ethan could feel the tension in the air as he vouchsafed for her safety. "She surrendered," he said. "She's not a threat." "She's a Trell," the doctor whispered. "They don't surrender." "I know," Ethan replied. "That's why we should pay attention." Kael'ari watched the exchange in silence, like she was studying a foreign custom. Over the next few days, Ethan checked on her regularly. Her injuries were severe: shrapnel in her side, a broken arm, lacerations across her back. But she never complained, never showed pain, never asked for anything. He brought her food, sat with her, spoke gently, and she watched him like he was a riddle she couldn't solve. "Why?" she finally asked on the fourth day. "Why what? Why do you speak to me as if I were not your enemy?" Ethan tilted his head. "Because right now you're not. You're hurt. You're alone. And I don't think anyone should suffer like that." She looked down, her expression unreadable. "Among my people, kindness is shown only to the strong. And if someone's weak, they are left behind." Ethan shook his head. "That's not how we do things." She stared at him for a long moment. Then, unexpectedly, she whispered, "Then you are different." Kael'ari recovered slowly, and with each passing day, her posture softened. Not her strength. She remained physically formidable, her muscles taut, her presence commanding, but the way she looked at Ethan began to change. One night, under the violet sky of the war-ravaged planet, she sat beside him by the fire. "I was taught that humans were fragile," she said, "emotionally weak, sentimental to the point of self-destruction." "That's not entirely wrong," Ethan chuckled. "But you are not weak. You fight fiercely, and yet you are gentle." He shrugged. "I've seen enough death to know kindness is harder. It takes more strength, I think." She was quiet for a long while. Then she reached out slowly and touched his hand. Her skin was warm, her touch careful. "Among the Trell, a warrior does not touch another without intent," she said. Ethan's heart beat a little faster. What kind of intent? To honor or to bond? His breath caught. "Which one is this?" She didn't answer, but she didn't let go either. As the weeks passed, Ethan petitioned to keep Kael'ari in protective custody instead of transferring her to the standard POW camp. He argued that she was cooperative, recovering, and not a threat. His commanding officer grumbled but relented. Ethan took personal responsibility for her care. And Kael'ari, once cold and silent, began to laugh. The first time he heard it, it startled him, a low, melodic sound, almost like music carved from stone. "I'm not sure I've ever heard a Trell laugh," he said, smiling. "Then you have not heard enough," she said. "We laugh in victory, in mockery, in moments like this." She looked at him with something that wasn't just warmth. It was curiosity, respect, maybe even something deeper. "You are not what I expected from a human soldier," she said one night, watching him clean his weapon. "What did you expect? Arrogance, anger, cruelty?" "Well," he said with a half smile, "you wouldn't be entirely wrong." "But you," she continued, "you treat me as though I matter, as though my pain matters." "It does," he said simply. "You do." She said nothing, but her amber eyes shimmered with something unspoken. The war didn't end. It never really does. But a ceasefire was declared 2 months later. Kael'ari was scheduled for transfer back to the Dominion as part of a prisoner exchange. Ethan's stomach twisted when he heard. "Do you want to go back?" he asked her. "I do not know," she admitted. "My people will not understand what I have seen, what I have felt. Do you want to stay? That would make me a traitor." "Maybe," he said softly. "Or maybe it makes you brave." She looked at him for a long moment. Then she did something he never expected. She leaned forward and pressed her forehead gently to his. A Trell gesture of affection, of farewell. "I will not forget your kindness, Ethan of Earth," she whispered. "You taught me that mercy is not weakness. And you taught me that warriors can feel," he said. Then she was gone. 3 months passed. Ethan returned to Earth, haunted by the silence she left behind. He tried to forget, to move on, but something in his chest ached. Then one morning, during a diplomatic summit between the Human Alliance and the Dominion, a new envoy arrived. It was her. Kael'ari stood in ceremonial armor, her posture rigid, but her eyes softened the moment they met his. After the speeches and handshakes, she approached him. "I requested this assignment," she said. "You did." "I told my people I understood humans better than any other." "And do you?" he asked, a little breathless. She stepped closer. "I understand you." His voice caught. "And what now?" She extended her hand, just like he had that first day. "We begin again." He took it, and this time she didn't let go.